Hey everybody, welcome to Big E's Auto. It's Big E, and we got beer on the truck hood. We got shop truck up in here. It's go time. So today, I know for once, everybody gasp. Make sure you're sitting down. We're not working on the C4 today. I know, shocker. Today we got our in-house Ram 1500, four-wheel drive 5.7 Hemi. Well, I've been a bit of a dumbass and neglected her. So today, as part of bringing her back to glory, we're going to replace front brake rotors and brake pads. So today's going to be a how-to thing. And see if there's anything else that in the future we're going to have to address before we start regularly using this thing. So sit down, shut up, strap in, and listen to what I'm about to say, because it's about to get messy. So let me get some tools together. I'm gonna roll the intro. When I come back, we're gonna start up in this bitch. All right, guys. So as you can see, I'm being accompanied by Mr. Miller. By the way, cheers, bitches. Now, set that down. This is about to get real. Okay, so let's take a look in here before we start tearing into it. It's bad. Hard to see. There's grooving here. Those pads look bad. They're actually, the brake material is actually cracking and separating from the backing of the pad itself. I mean, this shit's old. I didn't realize it was that old. Plus, it just looks terrible. You see there's some rust, mostly surface rust happening. I'm going to take care of that as well. I think that's going to be off camera when I do that. So you see like how rusty it is now. And then once we get this thing torn down, I'm going to go over it, paint it, treat it to rust, paint it, put it back together, and hopefully it looks better. It'll brake better. We're only doing front today. I got to do the rears as well, but that's not going to be today. That's going to be a future video. So for right now, what I'm going to do, let me set you guys up here. I'm going to set you on the back side, try and keep you out of the glare. Hopefully that helps. So what we're going to do is, the first thing we're going to need is, you're going to need a 13mm socket, okay? And we're going to take these bolts here, and then there's a bolt down here. Okay, you see those two bolts got to come out, so that way we can get the caliper off. So what we're going to do is get those loose. And unfortunately my ratchet's being a ratchet asshole right now. So let's get that started. We'll get that bottom one started as well. Again, 13mm. And then what we'll do is we'll take our power ratchet. Oh, I have it the wrong way. Calls if it's turned the right way. What is it doing here? Yeah, okay. Just something it doesn't like. There we go. So what we'll do is we'll back those out like that. And the bottom one. Alright, now pull that out. Now you might need a little bit of a pry bar for some persuasion here. And carefully rock it out of your top here. And lift up on the bottom just a little bit to get it out of the groove, because there's a groove that's cut in to this mounting bracket where this is gonna ride on. I don't know if you can see here, there's a groove. So I don't know, see where my fingers, that's where the caliper is gonna ride on. You kind of gotta get it up and out of the way of that. So it might take a little persuading on this, but that's okay. It will come out. Remember, this thing has been on probably for who knows how long and exposed to how many different kind of weather elements. So it's coming. All right, so now there we have it loose. Now what I would do is, it's off camera right now, but I'm going to set it on top for now. I'm going to set it on top of the upper control arm for now. So, because it's just, and also I'm just realizing now that this wire is stressed because there's this clip. So I'm going to have to bring this back down and see if I can unclip the ABS wire so I can put it up there, because I don't want the brake hose to stretch. So I have that separated, so I'm going to lay that up there. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So this clip here, this here, which is your ABS wire, clips onto that clip. The problem is that up there, it's stretching this, and it's going to cause stress. So unclip that out of that clip. You can set that up there. So now there's no stress on your brake hose, and there's no stress on your ABS wire. All right, so now we need to get this here. This is the mounting, I guess, for lack of a, oh, you got the brake pads. You can see they're ugly there. You hit it, like I said, they were flaking off the back of the backing. So we're gonna go ahead, pry these off the brake pads. We're gonna go ahead and pull these out. Now now you can see they're thin. There's not a lot of lining there. I would have soon been in big trouble. Don't throw them both away, because you're going to keep one of these, and I'm going to show you why when the time comes, but hang on to the old ones. Now we got to get this off. So what you're going to need is a 21mm. I would use a short socket on a 1/2-inch drive ratchet, okay? And you can back these off. That one's enough loose. You're going to see the bracket starting to move. You can back these out. Again, 21mm. That's if you're doing a Dodge Ram. This basically, it's your basic disc brake setup. This will work for anything with disc brakes. These are just the sizes for a Dodge Ram 1500. So I'm going to go ahead. Back these bolts out. Here's your bracket. Set that to the side. Now we're going to come to the front here. I don't know if you guys can see on here. There's like a star wheel that the factory puts on. So that locks it on. So you could rip these off, because when you put the new one on, you're going to have the lug nut that holds it on with the wheel. So you don't need to save these. So these, I take a side cutter and I just rip them off like that. Get them the hell out of here. This comes off. We're down to our hub, our dust shield. That's it. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to pause the video, and this rust you see that's around here, I'm going to go ahead and address that. Right now, this video isn't about that. This video is about doing the rotors and brake pads, and that's what I'm going to stick to. So when I come back, this will be painted and it'll be good to go. So hang in there. When I come back, we're gonna start putting this back together. All right, guys, just a couple seconds here until the paint dries on the lower control arm and the other stuff I painted. I'll get to that while we're waiting. By the way, yeah, I'm still hitting it. While we're waiting, I see a spot here. While we're waiting, who's in the mood for a little Johnny joke? Real quick, little Johnny joke. Anyway, so there's a teacher. She took some new psychology classes, and she's going to try out what she learned on these kids. And they're about maybe 2nd or 3rd grade, right? So, teacher goes to the kids. She goes, "All right, which one of you kids think you're dumb? I want you to stand up." Nobody stands up. Well, after a while, little Johnny stands up. Teacher asks little Johnny. She says, "Little Johnny, why do you think you're stupid?" He goes, "It's not that I think that I'm stupid. I didn't want to see you standing up there all by yourself." Think about it. All right, enough of that crap. Anyway, let's get to it. So I'm gonna whip out my handy dandy knife here. We got our bring it down here. We got our brake new rotor. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this bitch open. By the way, if you're looking for a part number on this, now this box is not very good, but the part number, crap, what is that? 53005DL. Hopefully, I don't know if that helps or not. 53005DL. Anyway, so that's what you need, because this is what we're gonna get. So now that we have it out, we can drop test it just to make sure it doesn't fall apart 15 times. Just kidding. Anyway, I'm trying to get you situated here. Let me get this disc out. We're gonna get town on this. Now, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna put this new rotor on. Now, wouldn't be a bad idea to take one of your lug nuts. Okay, go on the opposite side of where your caliper is going to be and run this in. The reason I'm saying to do that, it's going to make it easier to put the caliper back on. So I'm going to go ahead and run this in. Okay, now that we have that, the next thing we need, what the hell, why not? Cheers. Next trick's gonna be, see how soon Eric gets so wasted he can't get the truck back together. Let me grab here's the bracket. So we're gonna take our bracket. Now what you wanna do is, in between here is your space, because this contains the threads. So we're gonna take this and line that up and hand start that. We'll take our second one at the bottom here and we'll do the same thing, hand start that. Okay? Then we'll take our ratchet, make sure we're in the right position, right in the on position. And we're gonna use that to evenly pull it in. And we'll do the same thing at the bottom. Alright, so before we get too far and forget about it, we got our caliper. Now what we're going to need to do here is we have to get these pistons back in to the caliper, so that way we can get it to slide over the new pads. So we'll set that there. Now remember when I said earlier to keep one of your junky pads? Here you go. We're going to go ahead and we're going to push them in with this. And then you set that up, you're going to use that old pad so you can get those pads in there, okay? Or get the pistons back in the caliper. And you might have to shake the hose a little bit to help it backflow. I don't know if it really does anything. It just makes it feel like you're doing something to help the cause. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to push these pistons all the way into the bore of the brake caliper. And keep going, taking your time slowly until you get them all the way in. Then you can back that out. Okay, now take your C-clamp off, and you'll see why I want to use an old pad. You can see how it dented, put a dent in, and that's why you want to use an old pad. All right, now, if you're looking for a part number for your brake pads, Dodge Ram, there you go. Now, once again, we're gonna take our handy dandy redneck pocket knife, cut the plastic, get these out of here. Now, what you want to do is, I don't know how well you can see, but you have your springs here. So make sure that the contour of the pad matches the contour of the disc, the rotor, whatever term you want to use. And then you're gonna push that one against. Ooh, excuse me. Same thing here. Got the beer burps going on already, folks. All right, so line that up. Make sure that's in place. You might have to finagle it a little bit, and then we'll get them together. And hopefully, there's, for whatever reason, they're there, but they're not holding. So, there. Now, what you want to do, now that you got both pads on, for whatever reason it's not holding. So what I'm going to do is take our caliper now and carefully place it that it goes over your pads. Okay, now here's the trick. I don't know, let me see. Can you see this tab here that's cast into your caliper? That has to fit under here. So what you need to do is make sure that this is going to go up in there, okay? And double check everything, okay? Make sure your sleeves for your sliders are good. And then what you want to do is line up your top bolt and see where you're at. Now, this might take a little finessing. You may need to lightly tap with a hammer. You know, if you have to wail on it, there's something wrong. But let me look around here. I can feel it's close, but it's not quite there. For whatever reason. I'm thinking this may need a little more persuasion, or something's going on here. Or if you need to, take it back out, check it out, see what's going on, you know, see what the deal is. There, now it seems like it's going in the right direction. You might need a little more help with it, but for whatever reason, you want to check that out. Sometimes getting these lined up can be a real bear. As this is right now, giving me a really hard time. I think what it is, oh, I see the problem. That spring bent down, and that shouldn't be like that. We have to bend it up out of the way so it can get to that piece of the bracket. So now hopefully we can get this in there, which it's getting close, which we might need a little persuasion. There, now, and there it is. The bolt starts. And so does the bottom one. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to tighten up those bolts, those 13mm bolts. Of course it's going to give me a hard time now. And drop the socket. Alright, so let's tighten that bottom bolt as well. Now, that's all tight, looks good. Double check everything. Maybe take that top piece and just bend it over. Make sure everything's nice and tight. But that basically, folks, is how you do it. I'm going to finish this up, put the wheel on. We're going to wrap up the video with that. Alright guys, Miller time. Yeah, got it done. Cleaned it up a little bit, but see the paint, rotors, brakes. So there you go. So hopefully that helps. If you have a Ram, well, it doesn't have to be a Dodge Ram. Any disc brake application, it's the same principle. You're gonna have two separate bolts that hold the caliper to that bracket. There's two bolts that hold that bracket to the actual spindle, and that's all you need to know. Is just to do that. I would say probably to do both. Now that's including rust removal, well, treating the rust. I mean, I'm looking at like an hour and 10, hour 15 total. You know, if you're not going to do the rust thing, figure in less than an hour you can have new brake rotors and brake pads put on your vehicle. You're good to go for inspection. You're safe. You're good to go. So anyway, there she is. We're gonna get her cleaned up. We're gonna have a bunch of videos coming up. We're gonna get her fixed up. She's gonna be looking good again. Anyway, like and subscribe, leave a comment, and have a damn beer. Fucking chill out. Enjoy the day. All right. Watch out for each other. Take care of each other. See you next time, right here on Big E's. Bye for now.